Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Brent Smith from the band Shinedown, and you are listening to Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe, play it toxic.
Master, dinner is served. Igor, it's not that I don't appreciate the effort, but you know I prefer my meals uncooked. And how many times have I told you about using garlic? Yes, Master. Forgive me, Master. Please. Bite into Paradelphia. Thursday nights at 8, only on Toxic Radio. Paradelphia. Because what if it's all true?
Enjoying all that Toxic Radio has to offer? Well, make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be the first to find out about ticket giveaways, amazing guests, awesome contests, and Toxic Radio events. Just search Toxic Radio Live, all one word, and press that little button. Every time you do, someone here at Toxic Radio will get their wings. Yay! Well, not really.
Aww.
But we will get a warm, fuzzy feeling in our tummies. But then again, that just might be the beer. Anyway, like and follow us, and we will see you out there on the interwebs.
Hey guys, dating life going pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy, I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies.
Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic.
Hello? Hey. Someone's sexy. Alright, we're good now. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. That was a fake out. We wanted to pretend like we were on and then not, but we're here. Are we live now? We're live now, correct?
Yes, we are.
That is correct.
We are good. Sorry about that little technical difficulty.
No problem.
Let the show go on.
Yes, so you are live on Toxic Radio. Call in, be part of the show at 856-485-9565. Listen to us live on toxicradio.net. Also download the app on iTunes or the Google Play Store. We got a lot to talk about today. If you can't catch us live, right here on this Facebook page, Taking It Deep with the Godfrey, no problem. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, now Amazon Music, and I'm forgetting one, Google Podcasts. They keep changing their names. Just Google it. You'll find it. THEEGODFREY. You're here Taking It Deep with the Godfrey, Uncle Pat. Jamie's in the house. Mike is behind the mic as well, pun intended. And we're here doing it up. We're going to talk football today. We're going to talk podcasting. Not how to do it, but just controversy surrounding in the podcasting world. We're going to talk about the current reigning champ. I would think we all would agree that would be Joe Rogan. It might be safe to say, correct?
But Joe Rogan is, in the news. From what you were telling me, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. Yep. So my little hands are clicking away, and we are talking about that because basically he made some comments that I guess I didn't even listen to it. I listen to his podcast every now and then. I'm not an everyday podcast listener of Joe Rogan, but I love his work. One of the best interviewers out there. very well respected. Obviously, in the streaming game, he is like up there, and that's why Spotify gave him $100 million. But with that, now he has people he has to answer to, unfortunately. So, wonder if that ran through his mind. You think he thought about that before he took that contract?
Absolutely not. I mean,
Not at all.
How much was it?
$100 million.
An insane amount.
But we're
So
not
he's
talking about
thinking.
someone like us. We're talking about a guy that already had a lot of money.
Even at $100 million, he didn't think about it.
He wasn't starving.
No.
He's living a life of relaxation on his own terms, I would say, I mean, for the most part. More so than most of us. Yeah, and we do have a cuck of the week. I'm glad Laura brought that up. I forgot to bring that in promo video. Our cuck of the week. We got a couple of strong contenders for cuck of the week, but there is a special one. He is a doctor. I don't even know his name. It doesn't even matter because he's still a cuck. Does your name matter when you are a cuck, or are you just a cuck? They're never like, hey, this is Fred. He's a cuck. They're like, hey, that's the cuck. Right?
That makes sense. I mean, why? What's in a name, you know?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you? With this, you were obsessed with cucks. You know that.
Well,
I feel like
one
you
of the
go
listeners
home-
brought the cuck up.
I feel, but they brought it up because you've brought it up for forever on multiple shows, and I think you have a weird obsession. I'm kind of concerned about your obsession with cucks. And I mean, here in the studio, you were putting up interesting videos up on the new TV monitor in the corner that kind of speaks to your cuck obsession.
Yeah,
I think you might have to go to. I think you might have to go get some help.
It's possible.
He may have a point there.
It's possible. But here's the thing about that. Yeah, no, I don't know if someone brought it up. Can't pin it on me.
I mean, I'm pinning it on you, and so is the cuck, which is kind of weird and
Well,
kind of like pin the tail on the mat.
We might as well
but
talk
it's
about
gonna
it
go
now
into your thing.
because it was brought up. So, strong contender. Tyrod Taylor inexplicably didn't play before the end of the show. Okay? So he didn't play, and the reason why he didn't play before the start of the game last week is because there was a doctor who might have punctured his lung giving him a shot.
What does that mean?
He
What?
punctured a lung?
It was a painkiller shot. I'm going to tell you what it is. So, Los Angeles Chargers team doctor accidentally punctured quarterback Tyrod Taylor's lung just before kickoff Sunday while trying to administer a painkilling injection to the quarterback's cracked ribs. Coach Anthony Lynn told ESPN's Shelley Smith on Wednesday. That's why Taylor did not start Sunday, and rookie quarterback Justin Herbert unexpectedly did against the defending champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, I wonder how it's like. How do you tell someone like, here's the thing. I just punctured your lung. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Legion needle there.
All under control. But you just took it deep. No, but seriously, pun intended. Yeah, he did puncture along this doctor. And what's weird is, I think there's been a lack of team reporting this year, if you will. And when I say that, you have team reporters and you have beat reporters. They've been evaporating. Certain reporters are away from the website. Less access because of Corona. How do you not know that happened? Did they give him a shot right before the game? And,
What were they giving him a shot for that they punctured
pain.
his lung?
He had some kind of. They're always fighting pain.
But
in football.
how are they administering this pain medicine?
So it was a pain-killing injection for a rib injury.
So they go straight where the rib and lungs are?
Uh-huh. Yeah, straight for it.
That's
So
crazy.
Taylor wound, and he wound up in the hospital Sunday night to be treated for the injury and struggles he had breathing. Doctors have advised Taylor not to play indefinitely. Lynn said Monday that if Tyrod is 100%, he's our quarterback. So he's already going to be out. It was kind of weird because people were all up in arms about it because, Tyrod Taylor last year was supposed to start for Baker Mayfield and then they would ease him in, but then he got hurt. After one game, he was out. Again, this happens again. Will he ever get his job back? I say if the guy plays a good game, probably not. So I don't know. I mean, if you're the doctor, you're like, yeah, man, how's things going? How's your kids? How's your wife? Cool, man. How are you dealing with this pain right now?
Sorry about the lung.
Yeah, all right. Because just, on a level of 1 to 10, you're probably about to go up to a 9. So. That was him. So, yeah, I mean, so I punctured your lung, Tyrod. You what? So I mean, yeah, he's a strong contender for Cuck of the Week. Our other,
I don't know if he's Cuck of the Week. I would say he's
not the doctor.
Oh, the doctor. I thought you were going
Doctor,
the other. The doctor's. I would imagine he'd be fired, and the player would be suing the team.
I'm not sure. Good question.
I mean, if you were at work, because it is their job, and something happened, and the doctor that was hired by your company is helping to relieve the pain and actually punctures your lung, what would you do? I mean, that would be the first thing. Workman's comp, I'm suing the company. I mean, that's just the way it is, and I don't think it would be any different in a sports world atmosphere. That if the doctor,
well, they might have a contract with him. So,
but if the contract is the doctor to help.
So here's the funny thing: the NFL Players Association is investigating after a Los Angeles Chargers team doctor reportedly punctured quarterback's lung, as said, and in response, the Players Association said in a tweet, "Our medical and legal team have been in touch with Tyrod and his agent since Sunday, collecting facts. An investigation has been initiated, and they declined to further comment." So, interesting.
At least they're looking into it.
No one is perfect, he said.
At
The
least on
doctor
paper.
I know is a good man. It was unfortunate. So it looks like they're trying to keep everybody hush on it. So that doctor, whatever his name is, we'll call him Dr. Giggles, is contender for Cuck of the Week. And, we have some other cuckers. These guys, so Joe Rogan, good old Joe, as we were talking about before.
The master, the king of podcasting, I would have to say that most people would agree with that.
Yep. He's the rooster in charge. So
okay.
So the Spotify employees pretty much revolted against him, asking for editorial oversight of the podcast before its release. Isn't that nuts?
I mean, it's not nuts in terms of a corporate atmosphere. It's nuts for Joe Rogan. It's not nuts when you look at it, like I said.
I mean, wasn't his
corporate
show
atmosphere
signed for being, not normal?
But that's like
not,
But that's in our worlds. I mean, me and you are both huge fans of radio, talk radio. Opie and Anthony, Ron and Fez, Howard Stern. All these guys were hired because they were over the top and edgy, and the things that got them the fan base. But then once you get to a certain level in corporate, that's when, they are so ecstatic that you're bringing this army of fans with you. But now that they're there, they want you to abide by the rules.
Here's the thing, and I'm hoping that this doesn't happen in podcasting in general, because it's definitely, the old guard that was in charge of radio will try to re-swallow and envelope up podcasting as it is.
Absolutely.
And there's no FCC to regulate it, so they're going to try to do it for peer pressure. And, I just think, people like Joe have to think twice about that position, because if he's on YouTube, he could say, fuck off, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But so let's do this, though. So they're facing a heated internal struggle with employees over whether it should host the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience that some staffers describe as transphobic. Vice reported that CEO Daniel E.K. addressed staff concerns. See, there's certain things where it's borderline an opinion. Like, I have to rewatch that episode, but he was questioning the science behind it. That's not transphobic.
No.
And he didn't say it was right or wrong. You're allowed to ask questions. If the question might be something where, I guess, against the grain is it really a thing? That's okay to ask. He's not, you can ask that, and then the discussion happens. But everybody takes things out of context. But, the Vice reported that CEO Daniel Eck addressed staff concerns at an all-hands-on meeting Wednesday in case of Joe Rogan. A total of 10 meetings have been held with various groups and individuals to hear the respective concerns. Eck said, per the sources who spoke to Vice on the condition of anonymity, Vice said its sources shared questions that had been submitted to the Q&A portion of the meeting. The questions, which shorten the name of the podcast to JRE, suggest that the friction is building between Spotify's leadership and its staff over the podcast. Why was Spotify chosen to ignore Spectrum ER's guidance about transphobic content in JER catalog? That's Joe Rogan. One question said, here's the thing. If I was the CEO, I would say this is why you have a job. And, you're going to have thick skin in this business. And, if you're not in a situation where he's directly harassing someone, directly hurting someone, then you can't really control it that way. And I would say, are we going to have a small door where everybody's going to be the same cookie cutter type of person? Or are we going to have a door where we could bust it wide open and people are going to be different? Are we going to have a large tent? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just think, he made the headlines after hosting an episode where he recounted a joke in which he made the baseless suggestion that Caitlyn Jenner's trans identity was somehow inspired by the Kardashian women. Gender and LGBTQ rights, the Human Rights Campaign condemned the segment. Rogan, 9.5 million YouTube subscribers.
Subscribers?
Subscribers.
I love the subscribers.
That's the German version.
Oh.
It's called Hans Tube.
Unweikvok. But
Vons Tube.
But that's all. That's the whole thing. I disagree with this in terms of, for myself as a broadcaster, and kind of the head of Toxic Radio. You let the fans really speak up and whether or not they're upset. Now, we do have rules here at Toxic that are implemented by me, even though we have free range to curse and to say whatever we want, because as a company, you have to take a stance one way or the other. This doesn't sound like it was like it sounds like it's precautionary steps before the special interest groups jump on board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the put a Band-Aid over it before you even fell and scraped your knee kind of mentality, which I don't like.
Yeah, so basically their employees were going to go after strikes. They were threatening to strike, which is hilarious. Last week we first reported that Spotify employees were demanding direct editorial oversight over the recently acquired Joe Rogan Experience podcast that would include the ability to directly edit or remove sections of upcoming interviews or block the uploading of episodes deemed problematic. The employees, this is almost like watching Howard Stern play out over again, going from terrestrial radio to Sirius satellite radio. It's almost like the same thing in my way.
Oh, dude, and I just had an interview with Rowan, the teacher from Rowan, broadcasting part of Rowan, and I was saying to her that she was asking me what the future of broadcasting is. I said it was this. It was online media. It was digital media. It is podcasting as a radio medium. And terrestrial radio is going to go away, but within that crossover, you're going to see events rehashing in the podcast world. And you're right, this is exactly that happening again. And,
Joe Rogan
is the Howard Stern.
Here's the thing, and you can almost see it playing out. This is where the money meets the art, so to speak, what I call. And what I mean is that they're going to make money off this, but they're going to try to make a cookie cutter, make the gate narrow, and they're going to okay, this is the type of podcast that will get us the most advertising revenue. And it's going to take away the originality. And that's what fucking happened to radio. You stupid assholes. So you're going to do it all over again. And the whole reason why podcasting exists is because of how narrow the gate got into radio and how much it struggled or strangled creativity within that space. That's the reason why Howard Stern left. He was making buku dollars.
Yeah.
And you know what happened to a lot of those stations after he left? They fucking folded. 94.1 WISP used to be a big rock station. Now it is the sports station. Because guess what? The only reason people listen to regular radio is for sports. Other than that, it's a fucking almost forgotten medium as far as music goes.
And this is what's going to start happening with these podcasts, with these companies that are signing on these podcasts for insane amount of money, which I think that any podcaster out there should look at this and say, no, I'm not going to allow another company to buy me out and my show and sell out to go over there, because podcasting can be done anywhere at any time. But you're going to start seeing where, since it is a pre-recorded medium, where companies are going to go in and dissect every single thing, not just have to have pre-approval, but then they're going to dissect your show, and you're going to start hearing the dreaded beep that you would hear on terrestrial radio, censoring something, the dreaded dump button is what you're going to start hearing, and then the show has no say in it because the company that's paying the bills is going to be doing it.
So Joe Rogan, before he went to Spotify, he said, listen, he does all his advertisements in the beginning of his podcast and a show, and he let all of them know, and I'm pretty sure he did this probably in negotiations. If it bothers you how my show is, you don't have to work with me. But the dollar per household ratio goes up for him as far as what he'll take, because he's getting $100 million now. and therefore he actually issued an apology.
It's the kiss of death.
Yeah, so
it's the kiss of death. I got a question for you after you talk about this, though.
Okay, so that would include the ability to directly edit or remove sections of upcoming interviews or block the uploading of episodes deemed problematic. The employees also deemed the ability to add trigger warnings, corrections, and references to fact-checked articles on topics discussed by Rogan in the course of multi-hour discussions. Some of the group's demands have already been met by Spotify management, though a refusal to allow further changes is stirring a talk of a high-profile walkout or strike. According to preliminary plans shared with Digital Music News, the strike will principally involve New York-based Spotify employees and would be accompanied by protests outside Spotify's Manhattan headquarters. Other aspects would involve media appearances and coordination with active organizations. So for Spotify, the decision... So here's the thing. Pull this up for me real quick if you can.
What am I? The article you sent me?
No, I want you to pull up. See if you can find the. I have it in print, but I want to see if you can find the video where what he said was the thing that became more problematic. It was about saying left-wing people were setting the forest fires. He was kind of talking to the guy in jest.
Let me see if I can find it. It's a little bit difficult on the fly.
Yeah.
And it actually, I'm going to YouTube to try and find this. Is Joe Rogan's YouTube channel still like? Do we know if it's still run and
yeah, I believe
under
so.
him? It's not under Spotify. YouTube channel would be his.
I believe
where
so
you
under
can see the uncensored version of his show, because I know a lot of his shows get uploaded there.
That's still there. Yep. So for Spotify, the decision to offer some concessions may have only embodied demands for wide-scale editorial oversight, but those measures apparently don't go far enough. Rogan's claim during the Murray podcast is still part of the podcast recording. So basically, is during the transition of Rogan's podcast on the Spotify platform, multiple past episodes were omitted. Those included interviews with Milo Yiannopoulos, that's the right-wing guy, Gavin McInnes, Alex Jones. Additionally, Rogan issued a rare apology and correction over his claim that left-wing anarchists had set fires in Oregon, a point that was made during a recent interview with Douglas Murray. The apology is now believed to be the result of pressure from Spotify staffers. So I think, Joe's not used to having to answer to that kind of stuff because they're like, well, we're attached to this now. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I don't think they should be able to control it. No. If you're a Joe Rogan fan, you got to know that he has everybody on it. And just because he talks to someone doesn't necessarily mean he agrees. And I think Joe Rogan has been a target, in my opinion, ever since he said he liked Bernie Sanders. And ever since then, he's become a target over and over again. Over and over again. And who are these employees, right? Do they have to show their names? I'm not saying that, but, you can't just put a cork in everything.
But also, now let me just flip it a little bit. You also can't, when you've got that big of an audience, that big of a following, that big of a podcast listenership, you also cannot just spew out things that are wrong. Now let's just, it's a very powerful thing. This little green thing in front of my mouth is very powerful if you have a big enough community to pay attention to what you're saying. That's why people in the media or people that are influencers kind of do have a responsibility to not just get on and spout anything and everything. Opinions are one thing, thoughts on things, your view on things, those are one thing. But to spout things that are absolutely factually false that could lead to people rioting, people going out to do something, whatever it is, you've got to be careful when you have that much power. Again, I know this is going to be so cliche. I'm about to say this, but with great power comes great responsibility.
All right,
and
Spider-Man.
I know. That's why I thank you. Yes, I'm a hack. I prefaced it. But it's absolutely true that once, like Matt, if I know you'd be super excited if you like overnight had the audience that Joe Rogan has, that many people listening and hanging on every word that you say. But it also means that you have a responsibility to check yourself and make sure that things are proper before you say it.
I just sent you the link.
Yeah.
The latest one I sent you, and there should be a video. It says Alex Peterson above it of what he actually said that he had apologized for. So while you bring that up, I'll tell them about this. It was believed the apology is now believed believed to be the result of pressure from Spotify staffers. But those measures apparently don't go far enough. Rogan's claim during the Murray podcast is still part of the podcast recording, despite demands that the offending section be removed or directly corrected within audio itself. And now it appears that Spotify is unwilling to directly edit or otherwise alter many existing episodes with content alteration, consideration, and bright line that shouldn't be crossed. A bright line. Here's the thing: if I'm Joe Rogan, I'm walking. I don't know what his contract's in. I'm nipping this in the bud right now. Right now. If I'm him. So this is what he said. This is what everybody's in uproar about recently.
Enjoy going there. I actually love Portland. It's one of my favorite places to perform. Most of the people there are very nice. But there's a madness going on there. You want to talk about madness of crowds? That exemplifies that right now. And it's to me, they've arrested people for lighting forest fires up there. They've arrested left-wing people for lighting these forest fires. Air quote activists. And this is something that's also not widely being reported. That people have actually been arrested for lighting fires up there. This is I don't know what, if I would love to talk to the mayor and say, what is your strategy for ending this? Are you hoping this is just going to die down? Because these people want your head and they want blood, and they don't seem to be willing to settle for anything less. And
Did I do that? Now play after that. I sent you the clip, the one before that has the picture of him issuing his apology for this.
All right, let me go get that. And right from the bat, what he is saying there,
irresponsible.
Yeah, it's very irresponsible, especially with the sheer fact that.
But people got to remember,
it can't be
here's
proven.
the thing, though. Joe Rogan isn't Shep Smith. Joe Rogan isn't Tucker Carlson. He isn't Cooper Anderson. You are not going to Joe for the fucking news.
But I think that. So I agree with you to a point.
That isn't who he is. He is a guy that interviews well, that, he's going to say stuff that might not necessarily be true. I mean, I hear people saying true stuff all the time.
I agree with you to a point. But right now, in 2020, which we all know is the most effed up year known to man, with the state of the country, with, the political battle is just insane. Left and right are at arms, are literally shooting each other in the streets. Right now is not the time to make that statement, especially when it's a statement that you can't back up. And again, I am still saying that Joe should be able to do whatever he wants with his show. I don't agree with big corporations saying no, but I do understand that Joe himself should be able to view that as something that maybe he could have thought differently on. Does he need to apologize? I don't know.
Well, let's see what he said.
All right, so I got to refresh this because it auto plays and I can't do nothing with it.
I hate those fucking websites.
Yeah, this is
So while you're doing that, I'm going to read on about this.
Wait, it's right here. It's right here. Let me refresh it. And
a retraction. I said something on the podcast with Douglas Murray about people getting arrested for lighting fires. And I got duped. It's wrong. There was one guy who got arrested for lighting fires somewhere else, and someone sent me something about people getting arrested for lighting fires in Portland. And I said it without looking into it. It's very irresponsible. I didn't check. I made a mistake. I fucked up, and I'm sorry if I duped you as well. There's nothing I can do about it now. It's out there, but it's definitely a mistake. My apologies. And I will take this into consideration certainly when I say things in the future. I know it feels very irresponsible of me. I don't take it lightly. I'm very upset with myself, and I apologize to you as well. Sorry.
Here's the thing I know about Joe Rogan.
No,
Hello, everybody. I need to make an.
Sorry, I'm going to say this right now. No, I did not hear about this until you came in today for your show, right before your show. So I didn't do my research or do my due diligence to know exactly, because I didn't know about it happening. I've got to say
that's the first time I heard the apology and the actual clip. I only read it.
So I've got to say I'm proud of Joe Rogan. I agree that that's what he should have done. I agree that that's what he did during his show, because with podcasting and broadcasting, you're shooting from the hip. You're just spouting off things. You're saying things that you've seen or heard. He said it in the incorrect manner, and I agree with him. And I think kudos to Joe. I still, again, don't agree that Spotify should be putting their paws in his show and changing it in any way, shape, or form. But kudos to Joe. Kudos to Joe for saying, you know what? I did this. It was a mistake. I didn't look into it deep enough, and you shouldn't pay attention to that. And he did say it was one guy, so he wasn't right, but he wasn't wrong.
So
I'm with him.
I'm gonna surprise you with this one. I actually agree with you because here's the thing. I kind of do it this way in the show because I want everybody to kind of discuss it raw, so to speak. And that sounds kind of weird the way I said that, right? But I want everybody.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
ODB in the house. So here's the thing. Joe does not apologize for anyone unless he thinks he has to do it. Okay? So my thing about this is I think he has to realize he has certain types of guests on, and he is a victim of clickbait, and we talk about clickbait a lot on this show. He basically just said he was duped. He was duped in he read something, he didn't fact check it, he's on social media, a lot of us have, and guess what? That's exactly what that was, because he said himself he learned it wasn't true. Joe is already a wealthy man. He can walk away from these he has. Where I say Joe should take a stand is the editorial oversight is never, ever going to be given to them. Now, if you want me to apologize for something that I actually feel is wrong and I made a misstep on, no problem. That's going to happen, right? But the CEO he held it, and this is where these guys got to back up. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be more competition out there, and someone's going to be like, yeah, we're not going to really worry about that. There's a balance to everything, and, I think that's the first time I heard Joe's explanation. I kind of wanted to do it that way because I wanted to bring it up where I wasn't like sitting on it, stewing about it, read about it, and what happened. And, I think Joe felt like he honestly made a mistake, and he apologized for it.
I like how Matt's like, I didn't want to be informed. I didn't want to know about it. I get you.
Because I wanted everybody to hear it at the same time. And to me, it's an apology. I know what it's going to be pretty much. And there's a lot of people, including myself, up until I heard his apology, said, well, he only did that because of the $100 million contract. I disagree. I think he did that because after hearing his actual apology that wasn't written what he said, because remember, it's a lot easier to judge a person, I think, from their voice inflection, the way they're carrying themselves physically in that moment when they're talking about it, than it is to, watch a edited, extremely combed over version of an apology. And I felt like he just was like, you know what? I fucked up, and that's it.
Now, also in this article that you sent me, you have tweets from the Portland FBI that read, FBI Portland and local law enforcement agencies have been receiving reports that extremists are responsible for setting wildfires in Oregon. With our states and local partners, the FBI has investigated several such reports and found them to be untrue. Conspiracy theories and misinformation take valuable resources away from local fire and police agencies working around the clock and bring these fires under control. Please help our entire community by sharing validated information from official sources. Now, that was after he made those comments. And again, that's bigger. That's a bigger thorn than I would say Spotify smacking you on the hand and telling you knock it off. That FBI Portland, the official Twitter, tweeting this out would definitely make me go, wait, what the fuck did I say? Because for the most part, during podcasting, you forget what you said. And you have to go back and listen back. And I'm guessing that's what Joe did and said, ooh, damn.
Well, we're going to start off. We got our honorable mention is a sad mention, and then we're going to jump right into football. And I'm going to play this on the... Hold on. I messed that up.
How many mess ups have we had today?
So,
I stopped counting after
Philadelphia's
6.
own John Laurinaitis has passed away. Animal, the WWE wrestler known as the Road Warriors. Now, if anybody knows me in fantasy football, my team name I use across the board is the Legion of Doom. That's who it is about. I love those guys when they were a kid. The spiked football pads, the intimidating, imposing will they have, how powerful they were. And unfortunately passed away at 60. John Laurinaitis is his name. And we're going to give him We already had 2 rings. We're giving the rest of the salute right now. And iPad suck. That's what they do usually when a wrestler passes. It's tradition.
At the start of the show, they moment of silence, play the bell.
One of my favorite wrestlers, and we're gonna start the show off pretty soon. And I don't know, one big thing for me when I was a kid is entrance music, and I was gonna play that for you guys real quick. I think I have it.
What, the Road Warriors?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Pull up a picture of them for everybody, Mike, just for my non-wrestling fans. Pull them up. Now! There they are. And Animal is the one with the mohawk. Unfortunately, Hawk, that's Animal, the one right there, he passed away a couple years ago, too, so they both passed away. A lot of drugs. I think Animal is more on the sane side of them all, but, that's an honorable mention today. Great wrestler, Hall of Famer. And I'm dedicating the rest of my fantasy season to these guys because my team is called the Legion of Doom. They were the Road Warriors before that, but I remember it as the Legion of Doom first. Same thing, just a different way of saying it. But you knew who the hell they were. They didn't even need a name. I believe they were bouncers at first. They were fucking bar bouncers, from what I understand. Really good documentary on them. So speaking of documentaries, and we're going to jump into football, as we're going to start queuing up the music soon. We're going to bring in Uncle Pat. He's here with the picks. Totally forgot my train of thought there. Fuck me. No. But, Social Dilemma. That is trending in the top 10. It is a Netflix documentary. I suggest everybody watches it because it really opens your eyes to a lot of stuff. Really well done. Stick with it, and you will understand why people like Joe Rogan even gets affected by social media and duped into believing that things are true that are not. He should know better, but he is a boomer. No, he's not. I'm just joking. Yeah, it's in the top 10. I would check it out.
Where?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's one of those ones that I have in my list to check out because I've heard an unbelievable amount of good stuff about how eye-opening it is.
Yep.
I'll have to take a look at it.
And we're going to get into these football picks as soon as the music comes. Just joking. But me and, Pat will be on the mic. Jamie, you got the honors there. Pat's ready. He's writing things down. I like it. We're still reviewing some of the results from last week, but we do have some of the games to go over that we actually got right. Me and Pat were pretty much neck and neck again. Who
won?
I don't know yet. I still got a couple more games to go. We'll give you. We are short all the time. I got a couple other games to tabulate, but so far, I got like 3 or 4 more games to look up. Let me see. 4. It's 5 for you, and I got like 4 or 5 more games to look up after that. Something like that. 8 games. So, a lot of upsets this week. One that my lock of the week hit, which was the over on the Browns-Bengals game. Pat hit by it. He also told you to take the spread with Cincinnati, which was correct. They lost by 5, and they were +6. So a lot of upsets, a lot of injuries. It was like a mash unit last week. That's really the story. It's not the picks of the game last week. It's the injury. Because, if you just look at the box score, you tend to miss what happened. Christian McCaffrey out 4 to 6 weeks, making fantasy owners panic. Saquon Barkley done for the year. Unfortunately, I hate to say that one. A top talent isn't going to be on the field anymore to be able to watch. He hurt his knee. A lot of knee injuries in the New York Jets Giants MetLife Stadium in the 49ers versus Jets game, and the 49ers lost 2 of their top-line defenders, Solomon Thomas and Bosa. That's definitely going to affect their outcome for the rest of the year. People got hurt. Running backs got hurt, and they're playing a game again there this week, which we will talk about in the same stadium, I'm guessing, because the traveling is different. And, a lot of line movement, but it was a mash unit. Cortland Sutton out for the year, tore his knee. There's a lot of other injuries that are going to be 4 to 6 weeks. And man, oh man, I hope you were prepared and studied your rosters this year, because you're going to have to know who the good backups are and who are actually going to play. That being said, we're going to jump into this week's games. We have a game tonight. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but we do have a game every week called our Toilet Bowl game. And this one is Miami versus Jacksonville, the Florida Bowl. The Florida Man Bowl, we should call it. Yep. That is the Toilet Bowl game of the week. Are you done yet? Jesus, man, that was a runner. Whew. That wasn't.
It just wouldn't let go.
You know, Jamie, was that you?
No, I'm sorry. I just couldn't hold it any longer.
Okay, cool. It's all right, dude. It's all right.
Mike had to clean this chair later.
So that's our Toilet Bowl game in a week, because it's two teams that are not going to be that good this year. Now, the total, Pat, I'm going to have you write these down as I talk. Make sure I can understand your chicken scratch. Welcome to the show, Uncle Pat.
Hey.
So, it opened up 44, the total. Now it's at 49. Jaguars are favored by 2.5, opened up at -2.
I like the under. I mean, it's a free 5 points.
I mean, it is a free 5 points. I mean, we said this. I don't know if we said this last week on the show or we said it as we talked last night about the games coming up. We're seeing a lot of point movement because I think there's more betting going on than last year. I mean, 5 points is a fucking lot. Am I right?
Yeah, usually it has to have something to do with like an injury or just something more catastrophic.
Nothing like that going on in this game. Nothing like that going on.
Then it's a free 5 points on the under.
Yeah, I think you go on the under on this too.
Is that what you're taking?
No, I'm taking the Jaguars to win by -2.5. Yep, that's what I'm taking.
Got it.
That's my official stance. But you can take the over. I mean, the under. I don't think that's a bad bet. I don't think it's a bad bet. Pat is right. I mean, 5 points. I mean, I don't remember seeing movement like that last year, Pat, at all.
No,
do you? Is my memory failing me here?
No, it's significant. That's a significant amount of points.
So I'm going to give you guys a little fantasy blurb from each game as we go for my fantasy football players out there. If you have James Robinson, and he is your third best back, second best back in some cases because of injuries, yes, start him. I think he will be serviceable against the Dolphins, and they will be running the ball at home. If Gardner Minshew has to pass 45 times, that means the Dolphins are probably winning. And I like the Jaguars at home here. So
why does that guy have to have his first and last name mentioned?
Who?
Gardner Minshew.
Well, because people are like, a what? A Gardner? He's also Uncle Rico from. He was an extra to play Uncle Rico. He was a stunt double in Napoleon Dynamite. It was he stepped in the Tupperware scene where he was trying to break it. He looks like it too. They say he broke his arm to be able to have another year of eligibility in college.
Really?
Yeah.
He broke his arm purposely.
I can't hear myself anymore because I pulled my headphones out, and I will
all right,
reach
well, I'll talk about it.
to my technicians.
That's a dumbass thing.
Maybe they
do.
can help me plug it back in. So, that being said, I'm still going to talk anyway.
Hey, nothing shuts you the fuck up.
Yeah, that's right. And you know it. Take it deep. Oh, we're back. Woo! So next up, Raiders, Patriots. We're going to fly through some of these picks. Raiders coming off a big upset win. I know me and Pat both probably got that. No, you took the Raiders, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Pat got that one. I don't think I took the Raiders, so we'll finish those counts up. And by the way, from now on, we're going to give you our 5. We're going to give you a 3 and a 5-team parlay, and you'll get it the morning of on Taking It Deep from the Godfrey.
Okay.
And not tonight, not tomorrow, but Sunday.
Sure.
Because that way, we like to make sure on parlays, if we do a parlay, because a lot of stuff can happen in between now and then. Someone can go outside and slip on a empty cheeseburger wrapper and break their kneecap or something. You never know.
No, that's true.
So, Raiders, Patriots.
Look for it on Sunday morning.
In New England, I'm taking the Patriots with the points. I think this is a perfect letdown spot for Las Vegas going across the country. Total's 47. It's only changed half a point, and 5.5 has been steady throughout. Where are you at on this, Pat?
I'm going with Las Vegas.
Okay. Riding the hot hand. They look like they're playing for Gruden, and they look like they're having fun in Las Vegas. Maybe they're a surprise team of the year, but they definitely handled the Saints, who are traditionally a bad road team. If you look at Drew Brees' home road splits, they're dramatic. They are
True.
dramatic, in my opinion. So
over years, not just recent.
We should have been all over that, but we'll give you some of these upsets this week. So Rams,
Yeah,
Bills.
we'll start the trending things this year.
-3. The Bills were favored by, now they're -2.5. The Rams in Buffalo. Some say this is the first test, and Josh Allen has been lighting up the fantasy world. Who's the running back to start for the Rams? Probably Darrell Henderson, but not a good matchup on the road for him. Total's 47.5. Went from 44.5. Pat.
Yeah, that's some movement. That's some movement for sure.
Yeah, I like the under in this. Jalen Ramsey here, first big test for Josh Allen. Bills Mafia, Fish, who has his show every Saturday night. When's his show on Saturday nights there, Francolino?
Every Saturday night, starting at 7 p.m., going all the way till 10.
Yeah, he's a pseudo member of the Bills Mafia. And
who are you taking?
I'm taking the Rams.
All right. I'm taking Buffalo.
Actually, you know what? I'm not taking the Rams. I'm taking the under on this one.
Okay.
I'm taking the under.
Got it.
I just think this is going to be a wake-up call. You're not throwing for 400 yards in this game, Josh Allen. Remember, everybody's high on him. He's doing good, but he's played the Jets and the Dolphins. Let's not start clapping our ass to SeaWorld, calling him the champ now, all right?
Clapping our ass?
Yeah, seals. They clap their ass. Maybe, I don't know, what is that, because they're fin? You know how seals clap. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like the guy does it at the horse racing.
Yeah, like the horse racing. Yeah, exactly.
I got it. Smack.
Same thing.
That's known
Except
as
if you throw him a fish, he's just going to look at you crazy.
Well, that's known as a smacked ass.
So when someone's doing that, they're a smacked ass?
Yes.
All right. Didn't know that. So, Texans 0-2 against the Steelers 2-0 in Pittsburgh. The Steelers play better at home.
Yeah, they do.
45 is the total. It's held steady.
I don't like this game.
I don't like this game either. And we're going to give you guys a rating. We're going to tell you if we feel uncomfortable betting on a game ourselves. I don't like this game either. I'm with Pat on that. This is a game I stay away. But if you must bet it because you're a degenerate fuck. Well,
Houston's stuck it in my ass 2 weeks in a row. I got to go with Houston again. Because if I know, who the fuck knows? You go first.
I go first. I think this game is going to be more high scoring than people think, and I'm taking the over on it. If I had to bet it, I'm going the over. I think the Steelers win. I just don't know if they win by 4. I don't like that extra point. So, what do you think, Pat?
I think this is more the toilet bowl than the other one.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Pittsburgh's on a decline. I mean, fucking Roethlisberger's 120 years old. I'm going to go with Houston again. I'm a jerk off. So
Okay.
who you taking?
I'm taking the over at 45.
Over, and I'm going with Houston.
But if you told me who am I betting this weekend, I don't like this game. So this game
Yeah.
I don't like either. The 49ers are definitely scared of the turf after all the injuries they got. The thing is, the Jets last week didn't have the same injuries they did, so I don't know how you can blame the field, but maybe let's just say they were unlucky. They opened up at -5.5. Now they're ahead. They're favored by 4 points, and the total is 41.5. Not a lot of.
Didn't you say that they got a different quarterback going in this week?
Backup quarterback. They're still favored by 4, though. Remember, now the Giants don't have Barkley. This is really a toilet bowl game. There's a lot of shit going around.
Well, and the under/over only went down by a point. I gotta take the under here because it seems to me like Barkley's out, the first-string quarterback for San Fran's out. It sounds like it should be more under than the 42.5 that they put out, 41.5. So I'm gonna take the under with this.
John Moreau, you said what causes more injuries in football, turf or grass? I'm going to go with turf, 100%. The turf is getting better now, but the turf from the 80s and 90s ended multiple careers.
Yeah, it did.
Even the vet turf was like legendary for ending people's careers.
I just think it had a lot to do with the bottom of the shoes too. They've gotten a lot better through the years.
That too, combination of things. So
who do you like?
Who'd you take? The 49ers?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go 49ers too.
All right.
-4.
No, actually, I went with the under.
Oh, you went with the okay. That's not a bad bet either. So
thank you.
Titans Vikings. Titans are 2-0. Ryan Tannehill playing above his head. Vikings are 0-2. Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean,
they're not playing above their head. They play like fucking monsters.
No, well, everybody was
last year
doubting Tannehill, except this guy last year. I told you he'd be the starting quarterback on that team, and he ended up taking the playoffs at AFC Championship. Now the Vikings,
good
because they surrounded him with talent. The Vikings 49.5 this Tennessee Titans game, and it was 45.5. Pat, it went from 45.5 to 49.5.
Defense, they got a good defense, Tennessee. I see that being a good under if you wanted to go a different bet than Tennessee. I see it to be a good under.
I'm going with Tennessee to win it. They're pulling it out. I mean, Minnesota's desperate, though, right now. They got a really bad defense, though, but they're desperate. So, another game I'm not a big fan of, but I'm taking Tennessee at -2.5. Now, the Washington football team, the Potatoes.
Didn't they come up with a new name?
I don't think so. Not yet. The Cleveland Browns. They're in Cleveland.
Is that racist?
What, they're calling them Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, Browns.
No, I think that's to do with dogs.
No,
Dog
it doesn't.
Pound. Dog.
No.
What's the Dog Pound?
Actually, it's named after Paul Brown.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah,
you
that's
didn't know that? Well, I was alive back then.
Yeah. Did you watch that game on 8mm film?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Fuck you.
They don't use that anymore. Football team, Washington football team versus the Browns in Cleveland. Browns are -6. Now they're -7.5. They went up a 1.5. The over is 45, and it was 44.5.
I'm going with the under. I don't believe in either one of these teams.
I'm going with the over. I'm going with the over.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
So you take that, I'll take this.
Actually, who'd you go with the Minnesota bet?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the 7.5 points.
Who did you take in Minnesota?
Tennessee. I'm going to go with the 7.5 points with the Browns. Actually, I'm going to stay on that.
So you're going to go with Cleveland.
Yep.
Next up, you've been sucking her dick for a long time. Who did I take? I like the under.
You took the under. Bengals, Eagles.
And here's the pick of the week.
0-2.
Here's the pick of the week, folks.
Is this your pick of the week?
It is.
Another toilet bowl game. It is early, though. But, hey, we're going to see. Spend a quick minute on the Eagles. Carson Wentz looking putrid for the first 2 games. I don't know if it's him alone, if it's coaching alone. Is it bad draft picks, bad signings, all combined? But I do know the 2 constant variables I see is bad draft picks and the inability to develop talent. You know, they didn't draft DK Metcalf later on, who went after J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and he's in his second year, and you have gotten nothing from him. So there is a theme there, and I don't know if that coaching staff, a la New England Patriots, are able to develop their talent. I don't know if the coaching's where it needs to be, to be honest.
I think it's the scouts, but
that could be it too. But that's the problem. You don't know who it is until one of them gets out of the fucking building. And that's like a position you don't want to be in. So, who are you taking? Because I know it's your pick of the week.
Cincinnati.
To straight up win or to by the points?
Both.
So, plus 180 money line. If you think Cincinnati's going to win, great money line. You're taking the points, so they're spotting 4. They're getting 4.5 points. The Eagles have to win by 4.5.
Correct.
Went from 7.5 to 4.5.
Cincinnati wins this game, bud. This is when the Philadelphia Eagles fans all start to panic.
I thought they already were.
They're already ranked 26th out of 32 teams in this week's polls.
26?
Folks, I'm sorry to tell you, they suck dick this year.
Tell us how you really feel.
Unfortunately, and I enjoyed them.
Well, listen, I think they're the same team they were last year. Right in the middle of the pack. It's a mediocre division.
It's a little worse than last
NFC
year,
East
too.
actually might be the worst division in football, actually.
Yeah, it's high school football.
I don't know if it's that bad now, but I'm going to take the Eagles because they went from 7.5 to 4.5. So people are putting money on who?
Cincinnati.
A lot of public money going on there.
Eagles blow.
7.5. I'm going to have to go with the Bengals. 4.5? 3 points? I'm going with the Eagles.
They're going to beat them straight up, dude. The Eagles haven't had a good quarter of football since the second quarter of the first game.
No, they played okay. There were certain spots they did bad plays.
Blinded by the light.
Nope, not at all. I
Racked
called them
up like a douche.
He says that, but I called it correctly last season where they would end up, and they did. And I'm calling it. It's the same team.
I don't even know if they're going to make 8-8. Unfortunately,
8-8 might win that division. 9-7 might win that division.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Listen, I want to see Carson in a full playoff game. He hasn't had that chance yet. So
I want to see Carson in another uniform.
Yeah. Well, I'm not ready to give up on him. Jared Goff was a piece of crap, and then they fired Jeff Fisher, and his career got resurrected.
Was he ever injured?
No.
All right, well, Carson hasn't been the same since his first injury.
Yeah, I think that's a little overblown. He didn't have
Just
him
my
on another
opinion.
team. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's not Russell Wilson. No one's saying that, but he's serviceable.
He had a chance to be that. That's the thing. That
ain't
first
going to
year-
happen now.
No, it's not.
But I'll put it to you this way. Here's the thing. Russell Wilson, if you look up the stats, I love that player. Fun to watch. He had a 21 touchdown and 10 interception year after they had to let everybody go because of salary cap reasons. He had a couple down years, and now he went back up. Last year was the ascension up, and now this year he's all on fire starting off. Now, don't believe me? Take a look at it. After they went through their run, they went through the same thing. And that's what happens. You make a mistake, you're going to pay for it in personnel. And guess what they're doing, though, that the Eagles haven't shown they could do? Draft someone in the 5th round and coach them up. I just don't see it happening. I don't see the development of players happening. I see guys getting cut that are started on other teams, but they're not here. I can go through a litany of names.
Don't.
Yeah. LJ Fort, great, doing good. We cut him. Rasul Douglas is now a starting quarterback for Carolina Panthers. Doing pretty decent. So when you draft people in that round and they don't pan out, you're in trouble. And that's where they sit at. But I do think that the Bengals are still in a rebuild mode and they can handle that team. You know, they're going to have bad teams I think they'll beat, and they're going to lose to good teams. So that's just the way it's going to be because they're mediocre. Bears, Falcons. Falcons are favored by 3. They're 0-2.
Oh. Next one was
Bears, Falcons.
Looked like Chicago, Atlanta.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Bears, Falcons, Chicago Bears, Atlanta. Okay.
I'm there.
So,
yeah.
minus 4.5 is the Eagles. No, I'm sorry. Now you got me looking. Minus 3 is the Falcons. They started out minus 3. The total is 47.5. Bears, Falcons. Man, you know, the Bears are 2-0. Falcons are desperate. I'm going with the Falcons here.
I'm going with Chicago.
Okay. Bears have no... I mean, the Falcons have no defense. It's tough. You know what? I hate this game. This is another game I hate. 47.5. I hate a lot of games this week. I'm going to change that. I'm going with the over on this one.
Will you make up your fucking mind?
Jets, Colts. Colts favored by 7. They started out favored by 7. They're favored by 11.5 now, Pat. And a 4.5 point swing. You know
why?
Jets are really banged up injury-wise, and they're not playing good ball. The total is 44. 11.5, man. Jesus, that's that danger zone when you start getting in the double digits.
Yeah, I would completely stay away from this game.
Yeah, if you had to bet it, I'd go with the over. 11.5 makes me want to throw up, but they could beat them. I mean, what did the Jets lose by last week? A lot of points? Yeah.
They're the Jets.
Yeah, you know what? You know what?
League.
I'm gonna say let's get strong and take the 11.5 of the Colts. How about that?
I say you got balls of steel.
So Panthers.
Oh, did I give a pick?
Oh, we already know where you're going with this. You hate the Jets, but let's go.
Huh.
All that for that thought.
Under.
Under. Okay. We're gonna stream through to the last couple because we're run out of time here, but. Panthers, Chargers. In L.A., Panthers 0-2 without Christian McCaffrey. It's held steady at minus 6.5 throughout the whole week. 43.5 is the total.
Chargers.
Yeah, I think Chargers all day. I think that's a lock. And that's my lock of the week is the Chargers. 6.5 points. They got to beat them by a touchdown. Yeah. I see. I see this going over, to be honest. But I'm going to take the Chargers the points. Chargers are going to play good D. They're coming off a loss. They're going to want to win. I don't see it going any other way. The Panthers don't have a path here, and they have a horrible, horrible defense. I don't know if they could score without Christian McCaffrey. It remains to be seen what's going to happen here. So I got to go with the Chargers. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't turn the ball over. So I would be apt to go with the under, but I'm sticking with my pick. But if you want to do either one, I'd be confident in doing it. Lock of the week is the Chargers by 6.5 for Matt Godfrey. Lions, Cardinals. Last year was a 54-point tie, 27-27. It has gone from 51.5 to 55.5. A lot of points. The line has stayed steady throughout at 5.5, Pat.
I like Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona's playing good ball, man. They might be.
I don't think Matt Patricia makes it to the end of the season without getting replaced.
Might not.
I see them being 0 for 8 in the first 8 games.
They're a desperate team. What can they do?
Fire their head coach.
They could. So.
Bring in Sheldon from fucking Big Bang Theory. Anybody can do better than Matt Patricia.
If you wanted my money line pick of the week, I'm going to go with this one.
Why?
Plus 204. I just have a gut feeling. They played them tough last time. So, but remember.
You're going with Detroit on the money line?
No, if you want a money line pick. I'm not going with that's not my pick for our.
Well, don't give it out there.
Yeah.
I gave mine.
I'm giving you a money line pick you might want to play with. But I also am on the Cardinals.
Bitch.
I mean, 55.5 is a lot of fucking points.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either, folks.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm going to give you another ball of steel. I'm going with the over at 55.5.
You're dead silly. Okay, good. I'll take that win.
Okay. Well,
it's a 2-point swing.
That means you got to win your win too, though. You know.
That's a given.
Yeah, it's a given. Broncos, Buccaneers. Broncos missing their quarterback, Drew Lock, and Cortland Sutton for the year. They, wow, it's in Denver. Tom Brady has had some stinky games there. -1.5 it opens up at. Now it's at -6. Do I believe that the Broncos are going to beat the Buccaneers with Jeff Driscoll? You're damn right I don't. You're damn right I don't.
They're not going to win, but you're still playing a mile higher than sea level, man. It's still, if anything, I think the under kind of looks good there.
Yeah, look, 4.5 points, Pat. What does that tell you? They're open at 1.5.
Tells you that they have major players not playing.
Yeah. Ugh.
And you know something? Their quarterback's down Lock, right? I didn't think it was ever any fucking good, so their other quarterback might be better.
I think he's got potential. He's young, but he got hurt.
And who replaces him?
Jeff Driscoll, which is like, ugh.
All right, well, let's see what happens with Jeff.
Jeff is not good. So, I'm going to go.
Go ahead, bud. What are you thinking?
Man, this is just one of those games, man. -6. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to win. -6.
Got it.
Cowboys, Seahawks. This is also my lock of the week. I got 2 lock of the weeks. This will be probably part of my parlay. The total here, Pat, went from 55.5 to it's 56 is the total here, Pat. 56 points. Cowboys are underdogs by 5 points.
Do we do the Carolina?
Yeah, we did.
I say it. Okay, go on.
Cowboys are underdogs by 5 points. It's in Seattle. The Lions only moved up a half to -5, and the total is 56.
Seattle.
56.
Doesn't matter. The under. Fucking Dak Prescott's a paper.
He put up 40 points last week.
I don't give a fuck. He's still mediocre on his best day, and you can't even ever count on his best day.
Cowboys play down on the road, but they are getting Tyron Smith back. I'm going to go with the Seahawks with the -5 here.
It's fucking Dallas.
Yeah,
they're a joke.
Now we got the Packers Saints. Total is 52.5. The Saints were favored by -6.5. Now they're favored by -3.
I'm going with New Orleans.
I'm going with the Packers.
Okay.
Plus 139 too is a nice little bump in the.
I mean, they're playing good. I still don't believe them though.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers here. Until proven otherwise. I know they're playing in New Orleans, but I like Aaron Rodgers to pull this off. So I'm gonna, and if you're gonna give me 3 points, I'll take it. Chiefs, Ravens, game of the week here. Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson.
Game of the year. Get your popcorn ready, folks.
So 52.5 it opened up. It's at 54 now. The Ravens are favored by -3.5.
I like Kansas City, but I also like the over. So I'm taking Kansas City on my pick.
54 at the over, huh, Pat?
Oh, man, they're going to be in the fucking 40s before halftime.
You think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game?
Yeah, there is. Oh, my God, this is going to be fun to watch.
I'm going to take the Chiefs with the points.
Yeah, me too.
Not a bad money line pick if you want to get freaky at plus 157.
Without a doubt.
But that's it, folks. We're pretty much out of time here, and we are going to wrap things up. Those are our picks. If you want any questions about picks, you can always hit up the page, Taking It Deep with Godfrey. Send us a message. We'll get back to you.
That was fun.
You can, get at me on Twitter, Instagram, THEEGODFREY on toxicradio.net. And that is where you can hear all of our great shows, get all of our on-demand episodes. And on top of that, you can subscribe. Sharon's caring. And this is the Godfrey. Not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.
Be good to each other.